Hey everyone, this is going to be your video, I guess, for, it's being filmed on the 16th of May, so we'll just keep it like that for the 16th of May, and then I'll pre-record and do another one for tomorrow, I guess. I put out one earlier that was super serious, and what I did was edit it down to, what I thought the more important message was, which was to not take everything so serious, because the first message came out really harsh, and no matter which way I tried to edit it or slice it or pick and choose my words, it continued to come out just as harsh. And I know that people are children, and they need their hands held, and they don't like truth. They're easily triggered. Well, we're all a little bit easily triggered right now because that's sort of just the energy, but I don't know. We're just gonna go with it. So I was trying to shuffle, which this is what happened in the first video, which I still stand by that video. Like, you've got to not be so fucking serious all the time. But you know, miserable people will do what miserable people do, and that's be miserable and try to take everyone else down with you, with them, whatever. When I say you, I mean you as in general people, you, not necessarily you, the one watching the video. However, you, the one watching the video, it could be meant to you as well. A lot of people view these videos, so I mean, if you're triggered, you're triggered. I really don't know what else to say at this point. This is kind of why I didn't want to put a serious video out. I just feel like silence is probably best, but I know people want content, and that's part of the problem. Yeah, don't really know how else to say that. So while I was shuffling, for me to even come on camera first in the first reading, which I've already deleted, I didn't want to do it, and I needed a message for me. Was I going to go forward or not? Because I'm just going through a lot right now, and not just the overall energy and people being shit as people are, but I do also want to say that there's been an amazing amount of people reach out for my dog and make generous donations. Every little bit helps, and I just want to say thank you so much, truly. So it's like for every 100 shit people, there's one genuine person. And I mean, if there's anything that makes me be able to get up here and deal with people continuously, it is those far few in between genuine souls. So yeah, I just needed to say that. But when I was looking for the message for me, these two cards popped out, first Fearless and then Divinity, as if to tell me to go forward and be fearless in my divinity. I think it's really interesting that there are black wings here. I don't know, this is kind of why I didn't load the first video, because I don't really know what to go into. So yesterday, I've been doing some really intense energy work. I've been shown some things that are around me, and attached to people, and through people, and just things going on. So I did some things that I hadn't felt the need to do in a while, and I've hung some things at my threshold, at my entryway, for protection and other things. And as soon as I hung that, which didn't actually get made, like, sort of the connect the dots to me until right before I actually turned on the camera to this video. Yesterday when I did that, when I came in, I noticed, this is probably gonna sound crazy, but I see shit all the time. So those of you that follow me, and those of you that are deep in this walk or were born in this walk, you see shit all the time. And so this is nothing like crazy to you, but for the ones that like the fluffy shit, I mean, they're probably gonna like be, I don't know about this bitch, but it is what it is. I see shit all the time. So I saw a robed being in entryway right here. I wonder if I can, yeah, I'm not gonna do it, it's gonna mess it up. It's like the space of, I guess if you were to put French doors, right, is how big this space is that goes from the kitchen to the living room. and I saw a robed being there, and it was looking very intensely, focusing on something this way. So here's a window, and right over here a little bit is going to be my door to my, to the outside. And it was focusing very heavily there, and I was just kind of watching it, and it was just a robed being. I would say female, but when I went to say female, doesn't quite feel female or male. So anyways, I was just kind of sitting there watching it because it was like focusing really hard, and it wasn't really paying me any mind. And then it sort of broke its focus on whatever it was doing, and she kind of looked in my direction, and I was just watching it, and it was just chilling. And it just like barely looked at me and then looked back, and as like it started to turn back and regain its focus this way, it started to sprout wings, big, beautiful, dark black wings, and I was just watching them like grow. It didn't have wings at first. I'll say it didn't have wings. I didn't see the wings at first. We'll say it like that. And it's still there today, off and on. So, 2 days it's been there concentrating on something. There's a lot going on this direction. Because this over, like if you were to stand right here and look out, you would see a whole, like the whole other side of apartments that like directly on looking. So as well as this is a bunch going on, right? There's a bunch going on. So I find it interesting that this card comes out, not just for me, but for you all as well. Okay. So I don't know why I feel beckoned to tell y'all that, but it may mean nothing to most of you, but I feel like it means something to someone. And that's kind of the way I have to continue to do these readings. So unfortunately, most of the shallow people need to go ahead and start dropping off quicker than they have been before, because it is what it is. I will do more shallow readings. I will get back to that. It is what it is right now, though. So it's time for us to spread our wings and be fearless in our divinity and be able to speak fearlessly in our divinity. And I'm reminded of a dream that I had when I realized I was going to have to go forward and start speaking like I never had before. There was a lot to the dream, but basically there was flint and a bus when I was given a scripture. And though I'm not Christian like I do and have studied the Bible, I was given a scripture and I woke up, and I want to say it's been a long time. I have it written down somewhere, but I want to say it was, Job, but it may not have been. That doesn't seem right. Maybe Ezekiel. I don't fucking know. But it was to go forward and make your forehead hard like flint. Basically to say, and when you read it in context, to go forward with the message, and the group that is supposed to hear you will hear you, no matter how hard they may look on the outside, no matter what they've been through, no matter who thinks they're crazy or their afflictions or addictions or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, people may view them as, or they may even view themselves as, to go forward fearlessly in my divinity and speak. This is a message to you now as well. Along with that, when I was shuffling this, the hungry ghost came out. Okay, the hungry ghost, which is interesting because this is part of the reason that I didn't want to do a video and haven't been wanting to do videos. When my life is going okay, it's always hectic and I always have a lot on my plate, but when it's going smoother than usual, I guess you could say, it's easier for me to get up and talk to a bunch of shallow motherfuckers. Like, it's all good, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't really bother me. But when I'm having a lot of trouble, and it gets more hectic and I have a lot going on, it's harder for me to meet there. It just is. Excuse me. And I know that's what people want. People like cold readings. People do not like channeling. People don't often understand it. People want a very broad, general message that couldn't possibly do anything but resonate with anyone watching it because it is so fucking general. That's what people want. That's what people like, right? People want to hear what they want to hear to make themselves feel good, and that's all great. It is normally, but there's a point where I feel like I can't, and that's kind of why I didn't want to get up on camera. And this pops out, okay? This is the hungry ghost, obsessions, scarcity consciousness, and attachment. Okay, being obsessed with people and things and places and self, being obsessed with YouTube, being obsessed with somebody always validating you and your feelings, being obsessed even though someone has told you to get lost a million fucking times. I can't tell you how many people come to me and they want readings on if they've professed their dying love to so-and-so, and so-and-so said, I'm not interested, and they want to know if it's true. Even if it's not, if they said no, like, no means no. I mean, like, people are just really obsessed and always wanting what they can't have and always wanting more and always, I believe it's a Buddhist teaching that want equals lack. I could be wrong on that, but I think it is. And this is why people are never satisfied, because you always are obsessing over what's not good for you instead of taking a long hard look at yourself in the mirror and saying, okay, well, this is what I need to change, or this isn't working out for me, or maybe this person isn't meant for me, or maybe my love isn't love, maybe it's lust, maybe it's obsession. Is it even coming from me? The hungry ghost, is it even coming from me, or is it coming outside of me? Have I allowed myself to open a door, to open a portal? Have I allowed myself to be food for other things? If you don't understand what that means, maybe you need to go back and watch some of my videos or some of the people that I recommend. I couldn't give you any titles, but basically you can agree to be food for anything, and there are hungry ghosts, right? There are hungry beings, whether this is you, things inside of you, shadow self, darker self, or even external beings and entities that you've allowed to latch onto you or be in your home or whatever it may be. You have to ask yourself, are all of your wants and desires truly coming from you, or are they coming from outside of you? And when you get down to the bottom of it, does it even matter? Because whether it's, and I had this conversation with someone, I think yesterday, on a better note, but still the same thing. Whether it's you, that's you like this, like you see me, and I, if I could see you, or your higher you, or your lower you, or your shadow you, or beings that you've allowed to attach to you, or mount you, or be beside you, or guide you, or whatever, it's still all you. Okay, so ultimately you have the control. All right, so we need to be asking, like, when is enough enough? And what are we being attached to? What are we allowing ourselves to be attached to? And what are we allowing to be attached to us? Okay, why are we always looking outside for validation, right? It's when it comes down to it, everybody can say you're a shit this, you're a shit that, you don't read this way or that didn't resonate. Okay, well, maybe you're the shit person. Did you ever think of that? Did you ever think that you want to hear what you want to hear, and that's why you click on 15 to 100 videos a day and spend hours and hours and hours on YouTube looking for someone else to give you answers about your own fucking life? I mean, what do I know though? This is why I didn't load the other reading. Palace of Cups came out with 2 of coins. Palace of Cups came out with 2 of coins. And I want to make it very clear that there's a difference in asking for guidance and understanding and direction than constantly being told, like, what to do. Should I do this or should I do that? Should I pick Billy, Joe, or Bobby? Why would you want someone else to tell you that? That's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. Why can't you make your own decisions? Why are you dependent? Like, what are you scared of? and I don't know, that's just something to look at. But Two of Coins is sort of a balancing act, okay? It's a balancing act, and it can be sort of robbing from this energy to give to that energy, which goes right along with what we're talking about here. So the Palace of Emotion, the Palace of Cups, which is the Palace of Emotion, water, right? Emotion, spirituality, and things like this. I feel like it's important to keep it in check, right? To keep it clean, to keep it filtered, to constantly keep it filtered. You can't just have water sit stagnant anywhere, whether it's in a puddle, a pond, a pool. You know, if it sits stagnant, it's going to grow bacteria, algae. You're not going to be able to drink it. You're going to get sick if you do. It breeds pests, you know, all sorts of things. So it's important to keep it moving, right? It's important to keep it filtered, and it's important to, I think, have a balance and sort of, I talk about this a lot, a checks and balances system on what we are feeling, what we are thinking, what we are knowing, right? Our inner knowing. And it's healthy. I think it's healthy to question yourself, you know? I also think it's healthy to laugh at yourself, but obviously not a lot of people would agree with me given today's video. So, and then the Two of Wands pops out in the reverse with the Three of Wands right after it. Ezra, please be quiet. The Two of Wands in reverse is not knowing which way to go, but more than that, not in what I'm picking up specifically. This is another thing about cards. You know, I have a lot of people, well, that card doesn't mean that. Well, that card, okay, well, you know, fuck you. Then you start your YouTube channel and you read the cards the way you want to read them, because that's not... Cards should be a tool. They should be confirmation for what you are getting, what you are receiving, and not the source of the information. Or maybe it is for some people. I don't fucking know, but that's not how it is with me. So I read how I read, and this is how I read, and not every card means what it traditionally means. That's why they're called intuitive readings. But what I'm getting is that the people are not making their own decisions, and for whatever reason they think that they're not capable, right? They want to be told which way to go. Okay, what you tell me, which way do I go? And until you do that, I'm just gonna stand here. Okay, I have the world in my hands, but I don't want it. I'm gonna hand it to you, and you tell me which way I should go. And then when it's wrong, I can come back and I can blame you. I can blame the tarot reader, or I can blame the shaman, or I can blame the spiritualist, or I can blame my doctor, or I can blame my spouse, or whatever it is. Like, never taking responsibility. But you see, what you don't realize is it's your responsibility no matter how you look at it. Because whether you made the decision or you allowed somebody else to make the decision, you still made the decision. Point blank, period. So your future, okay, and the reason that you're stuck in this revolving door, the reason that your house is never complete, the reason that your tower always seems to be falling, is because of that, okay? Your ships do come in, right? This is the future. Your goals are being made by someone else because that's what you see, that's what you want, that's what you allow. So you stay in this reverse tower energy, right? The tower comes to break down and build up, right? It comes to transform, but you don't want that. You don't want a shock, right? The tower can be a shocking moment. You don't want that. No. I need to know what tomorrow holds, and I need to know what next week holds, and I need to know what the day after holds, and the year after, and I need to know the future. I'm always hungry. So you never allow this energy to transform you, to transport you, to transition you, to tear you down, to build you up. Okay? This is happening, I feel like, everywhere I look. Shit, I forgot to put the microphone in. Sorry y'all if the audio is shit. I apologize. Okay? Simplicity. Just talking about this before I turn on the camera. Sometimes the answer is so simple and so obvious, you think that can't possibly be the answer. I can't believe that came. I mean, I can. But it is. Sometimes it's just that simple. It's right in front of you. Wow. With the devil coming out. Ego, attachment, possessions. I need, I want. Always worried about possessions, essentially keeping you possessed, bound, tied to a whipping post. Metaphorically, hell, literally for some of you. Bound to toxic relationships, bound to toxicity in the relationship with yourself, with your money, with your spirituality, with your decisions, with your relationships, period. Relationship with anything. Jobs, people, money, children, whatever. You stay bound by these attachments. Okay? You stay. This is... I'm actually seeing, they're showing me a person. It's a woman, and she's beautiful until you get to her head. Her head is a TV. I don't know how to explain that. If you don't understand that, then just click off now. The great thing about Scorpio full moon, or Scorpio energy period, is being able to go to those depths and peel back those layers and allow yourself to be triggered and say, wow, okay, that triggers me, but why? But why? Is it valid? I mean, of course it's valid. It's all valid. But is it like something that everyone would be triggered by, or is it something that's triggering me because I know it's something I need to work on or release? The Dragon's Duel. Inner conflict, morality, conscious choice. You can't make this shit up. I'm telling you, this is the energy. This is why I didn't want to go on camera, because it upsets me so bad. You know what? Look, I'm just gonna, I don't think she'll mind. I really don't. And especially because I don't know who she is. I have a friend that sent me a reading last night that she received via YouTube from another reader. And I almost cried during that reading. I get sent a lot of readings from YouTube readers, and or people that read. I hate to call them readers because I hate to label people like that, but people that read tarot. There are not many that are real. Point blank, period. I said it, and I mean it. When I was watching this woman, it was very hard to get through the video. It was very hard to watch because I could see her throughout the entire video from start to finish coming from an extremely cognitive place. And then she would look away, and it was like the information, you could see it like shooting in, and she would spit it out before she would even think about it, and it was so on point. And then she would go back to the cards, and she would talk about what the card in the traditional meaning meant, but what she was getting from it, but what it means in this deck. And she was very like, like very robotic. And it was very unnatural for her. And it was very hard to watch, because to see someone that is truly gifted try to dumb themselves down to cater to robots, it hurt my heart. It hurt my heart bad, because you don't come across real ones. I'm not going to say often, but you come across phonies or people that are just giving cold readings more often than truly gifted, intuitive, people. And this woman you could see like she was struggling through the whole reading because she was trying to be so textbook, and you could see that she had a true gift, and it fucking killed me on the inside to watch someone not be able to be themselves like that. And I say this because we have a conscious choice. Like, where are our morals? Like, are we gonna, I don't know, like the inner conflict, I feel like, whether it's that, like being the true you, or your choices in everyday life, but it's the same thing, isn't it? It's the same thing, isn't it? It's the same thing, isn't it? And all she had to do was let go. And I think, like I said, just spreading your wings, letting go and just spreading your wings. You may fall, you may break a few bones, but at least it was you, right? At least it was you. Fearless. Because you're worthy. This all came out, well, all of these, not the simplicity, but all the rest of them came out, and you see me shuffling. You are worthy. I don't know what's happened to many of you. I'm sure it's different for everyone that's made you feel not worthy, or make you feel like you always have to second guess yourself. And again, I think it's healthy to have a sort of checks and balances system with yourself. I really do. I think it's healthy to question yourself, But I don't think it's healthy to just not trust yourself. And I think that's maybe another part where you have to find that balance. Okay? The moon. Going into the unknown fearlessly. Trusting your divinity in the darkness. Okay? What maybe hasn't been illuminated. Maybe it hasn't been illuminated because you've never gone there to shine your light on it. Did you ever think of that? I love that in this deck, it's the wolf and the dog, especially with the example that I gave about the woman, the reader, or the woman that was reading tarot. That was very painful for me to watch, which I heard she's doing much better. So fucking congratulations, like, for her, because that was tough. The wolf and the dog. The natural, that's the way it was made. Instinct, boom. And the domesticated, bred down version. What do you want to be? Maybe it's good to find something in between, right? Because we have to be a part of this world. We have to be able to talk to people and go. I use this example a lot. Like, you don't probably talk to your friends and to whoever the way you talk at work, right? When you answer the phone, or when you're talking on the phone to a bill collector, or for some sort of business, you don't probably have the same speech. I don't know, some of you do. I don't personally. I'm much more lax. I can be real. Probably none of you would know, but I actually worked in corporate America for a long time in high positions, and I can be really professional. You wouldn't even know it was me. So I think it's good to have both. I think it's good to have both, but I think it's also important to have a good balance and to remember who you are. Like, we all have masks, right? I don't know that we should be living the majority of our life behind a mask. I mean, and here's the thing, like when people say, you can't have any of the devil energy. No, you have to have some of the devil energy. The difference is, are you controlling it, or is it controlling you? Okay? Is this a mask that you put on when you need to, because that's the world we live in? Or is this the mask that you put on every day because you're scared of what people may say if they see the real you? Because you're scared of what you may see when you look at the real you. And we're in full moon energy, so boom, there you go. frequency shift. There it is. If you go back, well, you probably not, because my readings are long and drawn out and whatever, sorry. But if you were to go back, you can see this type of behavior, this type of aggression and, would you say agitation, aggravation? Every time we have a frequency shift. Every time. I get real impatient with people, and I try to stay patient but it's just hard sometimes, especially when I'm going through it myself, which is what's going on right now. But this is it. This is what it's all about, and this is what this is what's happening to a lot of us. Massive frequency shift, and thank God. Thank somebody. The web weaver. Synchronicity, divine intelligence, cause and effect. Synchronicity, divine intelligence, cause and effect. The web weaver. The web that we are weaving. Okay? Are you seeing a lot of synchronicity? Look up different types of synchronicity. I've talked about the program running in the background and the program running in the front. Do you want to be front? And that's another thing like that I noticed with that woman that was reading tarot, and with me today, and with me the past few days, why I don't want to get on camera, not to mention all the other things that I'm going through. But it's like, it's very hard to, robots expect you to perform like a robot. They're not considerate of your time. They don't give a shit. People do not give a shit if you have busted out 16 readings that day. They don't give a shit. They want what they want, and they want it now, and they expect you to deliver with either them paying you nothing or very, very little. Yep. And they also expect to be able to tell you how you should speak and how you should feel. Mm-hmm. They do. Because robots don't necessarily think and feel, right? And the majority of people, let's face it, they're fucking robots. They're AI. They're programs. They have no compassion or empathy towards organic. So if someone isn't putting out, 3 videos publicly for free a day, they don't consider, like, maybe there's something going on. Maybe that's a real person that has a real life and has other real jobs, like, people just expect. And like I said, usually when life is going okay, it's not hard to meet those demands. And a lot of you, if you're being honest with yourself, have been triggered lately, right? You've been feeling really like, ugh. Part of that is because you surround yourself with robots, because that's the real world. When you go to work, you don't have a choice of who you surround yourself with, right? You got to fucking make that money, because the bills don't stop coming and kids don't stop crying for food, okay? That's the real world, especially for single parents, but any parents. It doesn't matter. Like, it's a struggle out here. Even if you don't have children, it's a struggle. And you got to do what you got to do. And you have to put yourself in situations that you don't necessarily like or enjoy to make ends meet. And it's at these times, in these frequency shifts, that we're extremely agitated in this energy. Because it's in these times, it's not as easy to put on that mask. It's just not. It's not as easy to appeal to the robot, to the masses. And unfortunately, as the organic, it is your job to be understanding towards the non-organic, because the non-organic can't be empathetic towards you. It can't. It can't. It's got to go the other way, right? Or see Facebook post about bail money. Innocence. Let's see where, woo. We're not going to take all of those. The Queen of Swords. Cut the shit. Everyone is not so innocent. Everyone is not so innocent. People act, I hate that people act dumb. And you know, there's another thing about being triggered. People don't like you when they're triggered. Instead of, well, not everybody. There's a lot of people that were like, you know, that will say, wow, like that really, I didn't like this video, Becky. I didn't like that. And I had to turn that off and fucking sit with that for a minute. And now I realize why I didn't like it was because there was something in me, right? There's a lot of those people. But there's more people that are like, fuck you, that doesn't resonate. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm perfect. You're not so fucking innocent. If you were so fucking innocent and your life was perfect, you would not be watching tarot videos. Point blank, period. If you didn't need guidance, if everything was going copacetic, then you would not be on YouTube watching readings. Done. The Well Watcher. Wisdom. Power of the divine. How many cards are we going to get about power and wisdom of the divine? Divine intelligence. Bottom of this deck. The right order. I said something about that earlier. Things happening and needing to happen in the right order. The Fire Prince. Optimism and aggression. Let's talk about aggression. So if you're one of the ones like me, if you're getting like really just want to wring somebody's neck or, you know, like fucking throat punch them. That's why I said stay in your hole. Stay in your hole. We shouldn't be so aggressive, but we shouldn't not be so aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to say that we should fight our feelings or resist what we're feeling. I think feelings are there to alert us, right? Even pain and fear, as I had a conversation the other day, right? Without fear, we would have never evolved. If you were not scared of certain things, you would die, right? If a tiger came up to you and you were not scared, it would eat you. You know what I mean? Like, if your leg got chopped off and it didn't hurt, you would bleed out. You would die. I mean, feelings are there to send signals to help you go along in life. So I'm not going to say that we should not be feeling aggression, but we should be more optimistic about it and maybe channel it in a better way and do things in the right order. Okay, star seed coming up. For those of you that identify as a star seed, I don't really know how I feel about the terminology, but I do agree with the definition. And then another card of knowledge. Knowledge surfacing, to be exact. Okay? And this is what's happening. Okay? Spirit is coming. Energy is coming. Layers are being peeled back to offer us a different perspective on ourselves, on each other, on the ones that come to us, on the ones that should not be near us. That is what I have for you. I love you all so much, and I will see you